That's also strange because we think, oh, when there's pain, and just being with the pain. No, it's not being with the pain or something like that. There can be pain, and there can be going eating medicine or aspirin or things like that. I don't know.
That realm of non-duality because you're privileged, you question existential questions because you don't have to work hard and stuff like that. But I felt like that's also a story because it's not about being rich
Yeah.
or being in the middle class or being poor, because
Mm,
I live
yeah.
in a country where I see like people are happy with or without money, because it's not about that. It's not about
Yeah, but it's only a misunderstanding. So it's in the dream you're out of the paradise, but not. But there's only paradise.
Hey, welcome.
Okay.
Welcome to Spontaneous Miracles. And today I have with me Rose. Hello, Rose. Good morning.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
How about you? Leonard, is it? Leonard?
yes.
Oh, you say. Okay. Hi, Leonard.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you
Mm,
here. I
mm,
I don't know. I don't know. It's just wonderful having a good conversation with people, and and
yeah.
it's just fun. And I don't know that. And usually I start the conversation with, I always start with, how was this search for you before in the past? Because my viewers, I think
Mm,
most of them were like, personally speaking, with my story, just a brief background. I was
yeah.
born in the Catholic religion, and when I was a
Mm,
kid, I in the mall I saw this VCD of a title where it says "Hell is real," "Hell is real," and then
yeah.
when we were home, I watch it. It's the testimonies of people who had near death experience, and they said like, you repent your sins, or otherwise you go to hell. And when, as a
Oh.
child, I was really
Oh.
traumatized by that time. At that time,
Mm,
and then growing up, I had many years of psychotherapy and all of that, because I was diagnosed with OCD and all of that. And then later on, perhaps around when I was 18, I joined 1,000 of Facebook groups where everybody's
mm,
just doing spiritual search. And then I learned about past life regression, and then I learned about
mm,
all of those
mm,
concepts, and also non-duality. And I was just seeking and seeking, and then it's just, and that's why this my channel was born.
mm,
I was just, at the beginning I was like, I'm gonna open this channel so that I'm gonna be a bridge for people to connect with teachers.
mm,
But later on I was
mm.
just doing it for fun. There is no agenda anymore. I'm doing it if you watch it. If people watch it, it's cool. If they don't watch it, it's also cool. Like, I'm just doing it
Mm,
because I love doing it. I don't know, maybe I can
mm.
ask you, how was the search or the seeking for you before, or the story of Rose?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not really important. It was just a search of spiritual things, like always looking for something like who am I, or therapeutic things like personal growth. I think that's what was my search. Always looking for my feelings and things like that. And what my feeling was always like, I'm not good enough, and maybe when I do a lot of things, maybe there will be a lot of more relaxation, and then it will be all right, something like that. And then I met Tony, and then it was always like, oh, this is not it, but maybe someday there will be something. And then I met Tony, and it was like, oh, and I didn't understand the message really, but in some way I felt like, oh, this is it. But did understand the message, not really. Like I thought, I am. there's no me, and I thought, oh, there's already no me, but it was like me is feeling, yeah, I don't remember so much. I already thought, oh, there's already no me, and I understand it very well and things like that. And then during the years, some beliefs or some hang-ups were falling away, and I didn't like that. I thought it was like coming somewhere. I'd already, and maybe Tony said this, something else like there's no coming or there's no road, or, but I didn't hear that. So it was always like I want to reach know me, or I want to reach. I didn't know what, but it was definitely not what I was, what already was. And then I could understand it very well. And then suddenly that knowing fell away just during a meeting or so. And then that was awful because that was such a hold. And then I couldn't really understand what was said. And it was like, oh God. And it was not everything, but it was already something that fell away. And then in that sense, some other things fell away. Some that I was in the garden, and then suddenly there was no body. And I never questioned the body is real. It was just real. I never questioned that. And then suddenly it wasn't. So that was so scary. And then I phoned Tony, like, oh my God, what's happening? I can't find the body. It's a crazy thing because I phoned Tony. I with my hands, but I don't know. It was like, and he said, oh, you get used to it. It was just normal like that. So all that kind of different things were falling away. And then, after some years, then the whole thing collapsed. But it's not collapsing. The strange thing was that in that, maybe you could say moment, but it wasn't a moment. But in that moment, it was suddenly so clear. Everything was just clear, and that after that fell away too. And then it was like, oh. It wasn't noticed, then there was no me, or it was clear. After that, it was like, oh, there's still tension. I thought tension is the me, so that's not good. So, but there was tension, and I was trying to deal with it, what I normally did. And then I forgot. It's like the thoughts came up, and there was nothing picking them up, but it wasn't noticed. So yeah, that's the strange thing. There's no awareness anymore. That it's just not there. But it's so normal that it's not noticed. So it took a time that it was like, oh, it's like that. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
The thing about, yeah, it's I don't know, it's the unexplainable, it's unexplainable, but and then the brain would, when I know when a viewer like me, when I was before, when I watch story, when I listen to stories like this, that my mind would interpret it as
Mm.
cause and
Yeah.
effect. So I have to listen
Yeah.
to Tony Parsons so the me would
Mm.
drop. But I think everything just happened in it's not a cause and effect thing. I don't know how would you explain it, but do you think
Mm.
Tony Parsons is a catalyst or a factor of
No, no,
or
it isn't. Yeah. Because we are so used, that's the normal thing that we think we are here, and there's a real events happening, that everything is just real and happening to me. And then there's cause and effect because we're living in time. So this is after that. And then there suddenly is no time. But no time is not only it's 5 o'clock or things like that, but there's no before and after. With the brain cannot understand there's no before and after. There's nothing, there's just one. So there's no before, it's just one. Before and after is an abstraction. So that's, for the mind, it's like, I cannot understand that. And don't try, because you never will. It's not about understanding. Yeah. And that's really strange. So it's not about understanding. That's what the normal thing is. We try to understand, and then maybe something will happen or things like that. It's not about understand. It's about loss. And you can't do loss. So you feel like, oh, but I'm stuck then, because we are so, the only thing we have is doing, or and when there seems to be someone and looking and search, there seems to be, yeah, doing is the thing, or with the thoughts you can do something, or, but there's already no one. There is already no one. So there, and on top of it, when there's someone, or there seems to be someone, there's always a feeling like, oh, there's something missing. This is not it. There's something wrong, or something not right yet, or things like that. That's me. That's me. The feeling there's something wrong and we have to fix it. That's the whole me with the whole system around it. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's just this, like moving the head like in that way, or it's the Leonard way, something like that. It's that. That's it. And it can't be wrong, because it's life. That's in that form, in that Leonard or Rose. And there's also no Rose, because we think there's Rose, or there's Rose with a life, a past. And that's why I don't like so much those things like, how did it happen? Okay, then people ask that. Because there's no past. There's no Rose. There's just, yeah, that face. You see a face and just a part of the body. That's everything. And then we fill in that there's Rose and she has a life, and how did she do that, and how does she live now? And there's no Rose. There's just what's happening. And that's really very small, tiny, moving the hands. That's all. Nothing special.
Yeah.
Like
Same with the rising of the sun or blossoming of the flower. It's all
yeah,
the movement of the
yeah,
hands.
yeah. That's very normal and very not there's no meaning. There's nothing has a meaning. That's what we do as people. We fill in like, this is important or this is not important. Nothing is important. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the mind, when the mind hears, although the mind is also just another a form, but when it hears the no meaning, life has no meaning,
Yeah.
it attributes some meaning to the no meaning, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah. But it can't be like that. Oh, then it's something like, oh, it has no meaning. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So it has to be something. We're looking, because when there's someone, there's the story is real. Everything is real. Like, I am here with my body and my life and circumstances. And so when there's search in something that's real, because that's all you know. And then suddenly somebody is talking about nothing is real, and it's underneath that, and it's not in the story, and it's like, huh? It's not in the story. How is that possible? Yes, it is. And that's, you can't understand. That's then where it's just stuck. Can be like that. Or it's made something else of it, what I did also. A long time. I made something else of it, of course, because you try to grasp it or understand. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just very normal.
yeah, it's like that's the suffering when you try to understand the something you cannot. And
Yeah.
what really made me stuck before was the concept free will and no free will, because it feels like I do, but when you really see, like, the heart pumps without you up, the brain thing,
Yeah.
everything happens on its own, and it feels like, at that time, it feels like the most existential suffering I've had. Like, so it means, like, I can be incarcerated, or I can be hit by an airplane and I have no choice. And it's such a, it's such a depressing thing to the me,
Mm,
you know. But I don't know,
yeah.
do you also like receive a lot of questions about free will and no free will? And I don't know, how do you like, I think this is just my opinion, I think that's the most asked question in
Ah.
in Zoom, like, is there free will? But it feels like there is, but there's no. But
Mm.
you know, I don't know how you
Yeah.
address that.
No, but yeah, but when there's someone, you feel like I'm someone and I have a life and I have to make it work or things like that. And then it's very important to have a free will, because what's happening to you or what's happening is a lot of times it's not nice, or you don't like it, or you want something else. That's the normal way. That's how everybody, if you read a paper or say, it's like about improving, it has to be better, or the earth has to be saved, or in my relationship I'm not well enough, or it's always like that. So then free will becomes very important, because then there's a hope for something better. There may be something better when I do the right thing. So free will in that sense is really important. And when somebody says there's no free will, it's like, yeah, but I have to stay like this. That's awful. That's the most depressing message, because I don't like this. So I want to have something to make it better. And then people say, yeah, but then in the non-dual message, it's say, yeah, but this is it. And say, this is it. Yeah, that's what I don't like. So that's people move away of that, because, but there's the main thing is that there's something wrong. That's so normal. It's not even questioned that that's a misunderstanding. There's nothing wrong. It's just, it's not nice. This is not a message to feel better. It's just describing, only describing. There's no road to non-dualism or something. It's only describing. It's just what it is. And it can be a certain feeling, and it's always new, so there's always a change. It's that feeling, and then there's looking at the wall. It's very quick. You can't say it's like that, but it's very quick. It's just moving. So there's a feeling of ooh, and then maybe there's something else, and there's drinking coffee, or it's just like that. But it's not for someone. It's just like that. It's only drinking coffee, and there's nothing better than something else. It's just this. And we are so into this is good and this is not good. How sometimes I can even feel like, how do we know? What is that? That there's always something good and not good. It's just drinking coffee. It's just, I don't know where it comes from. It's just like that. Or something else. So it can be, and when there's a feeling and there's something going on, like, oh, I don't want that, then that's the suffering, because then it's wrong and it feels like and even more, and then the whole suffering is there. But yeah, that's the search.
Hmm.
It's not wrong, of course. It's just, yeah, but it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, it is. It's
But it is embodied. It's not only in the head, like, oh, I'm saying to myself, oh, no, it's not true. No, it's not like that. It's so embodied and so real. So you can't undo it or something like that. I don't know how it works. Sometimes things fall away, beliefs or concepts can be like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also the suffering is that someone waiting for a shift to happen, waiting for
Yeah.
me to drop
Yeah.
when
That's,
the me
yeah.
isn't even there to be in the begin to begin
Yeah.
with.
But that's the same, sir. That's the same thing. We think there's a bee, I have a bee, or there's a bee, and it's waiting to it to drop. It's the same thing, like there's something wrong, because there's still that me, and it has to drop, then it will be all right. No, it's not like that. It's already this. It has nothing to do with me or no me. that's also a misunderstanding. There's already no me. It's just empty. It's just, yeah, moving. It's just life, only life, no one in it. And when there's a feeling like I'm there, then there's that feeling or that understanding or belief. I'm there. Then that's what's happening. So that's also not wrong, of course. It's just a thought or a feeling or understanding. And then it's not always like that. It's not all day like, oh, I'm someone that you think that. It's just can be there, and then suddenly you walk outside and there's nothing going on, and me is not. It's all. It's never there, but the feeling of I am someone is always not. It's not always there. It's by some moments can be there, but then it's that. What's happening?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's like I don't know. I recently made a video about. It's like Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a character. How can Harry
Yeah.
realize he is Harry Potter because he's not even real? He's just
Yeah,
a
that's the
fictional
same. Yeah, that's the
character.
same. Yeah. It's just a story, and that can be a nice story or not.
Hmm.
And it's so quickly a story. We're so into stories. It's very quickly when there's a feeling, it's you could say, but that's not really what happens, but it's picked up and it's like there's already thinking, oh, what am I? Oh, there's all and still that depression today. No, that's already, it's just a story. It's just thoughts coming. Can be happening here too. There can be thoughts like that, and then they just go away. But then when there's someone, it seems like, oh, the story is important. I have to do something with it. What can I do? And it's just that thought and maybe that feeling, and then something else is happening. There's no life of Leonard or Rose. There's just very tiny feelings, or most of the time it's not really a feeling, it's just watching the wall, watching or wall or anything normal. It's not about you, because when there's someone, it seems like the whole world is happening, the whole or every event or everything, circumstances are happening to you. So me, I, this, but it's very important then. No, it's not. Nothing. Rose is not important. No, of course not. It's just Rose character. It's not even a character. That's already a story.
Hmm.
But in
Hmm.
the story, we can talk about that.
Oh,
Nothing left. Oh, yeah.
oh, when that's it. When you say it's even the idea that there's a character, the idea it's all just a story. Even that's why when I watched a lot of videos recently
Mm,
about people. I don't know. I watched like some people like debunking non-duality or people like saying it's spiritual bypassing. But when you look at it, it's and because people when the person hears the message that Leonard is not important or Rose is not important, it would immediately create a story of unworthiness.
ah.
You know, yeah, especially you
Oh,
know,
okay.
it will
Oh, yeah.
immediately. That's how I
Mm,
see it. It will immediately. So I'm not worthy. I'm
mm.
not important. But
Ah,
even that is beyond
ah.
that. It's a story, right?
Yeah.
It's not to get
Yeah.
them back.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. Then it's making that of it. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. But it's not saying to yourself, oh, I'm not important. Because that's what me does. It's all the time saying to itself, oh, she's saying this is not important. Oh, I am. And then you say it to yourself, or there's thoughts like, oh, looking at yourself and think, oh, I'm not important. It's it's nothing going on about this is not important. There's no saying like during the day, oh, Rose is not important. No, it's more in those meetings or how do you say it, in meetings that it's said, but it's not during the day. It's not saying something like that.
Hmm.
It's not even coming or
Yeah.
no. Nothing is nothing is commenting something like that
Hmm.
you could say. There's no comment. And that in the comments, when there's commenting what's going on, then there is like looking at yourself, see my face or see what I have done, and it's going on. Like, oh, she's saying it's not important. Oh my God, yeah. I know, because when I was going to Tony and he was saying there's no me, and I thought nothing is important. I thought I'm not important. Oh, I already am living that, because I felt the same thing like what you said. I'm not important. Like, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm nothing. I thought I'm nothing, but in the story way, you could say I'm nothing. I'm not really good. I'm like that. So I thought, oh, that's the message. I thought, yeah, I understand. It's not at all the message, of course, but when you feel that so deeply, then it seems like it's like that. It has nothing to do with a feeling of worthiness. Unworthy is a comment. It's not even not a feeling. It's like something like that's not real. It can't be unworthy. What is unworthy? I don't know. It's nothing. When there can be a feeling or it can be thoughts, but that's a thought. It's just a thought. It has I say it has no meaning or no power. But it seems like all the time it has power. You that thought that, oh, I did it wrong, something like that. Yeah, it seems like it confirms that feeling of unworthiness or things like that. It can't be like that. That's just a comment or a deep embodied feeling like I'm not good enough, because it's just what's happening. Life is very neutral. Like animals, they don't say, oh, I'm feeling unworthy. They don't do that. No, and we are the same. Only that on top of it, we can abstract that abstract thinking, like, oh, I'm not good enough. But well, how can we think it's not good enough? It's just a dream, and then there's just what's happening. And on top of it, there's that dream going on, but it's not real. It's a dream. Whoa, it seems so everything and normal and true and things like that.
Yeah, it's like the thunder can happen. It's neutral, and there's a person interpreting the thunder. Oh, God is punishing the earth. That comment is also neutral.
Yeah, because there's something wrong. Oh my God, yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah, that's the same. And we thinking it's about us. No, it's not. We thinking we're the most important because everything happens to us. No, life isn't interested in persons. No.
Yeah.
It's just life is just neutral. Yeah.
Yes. It's like what Yuji Krishnamurti said. Like there's no difference between you and the mosquito that's biting you.
No.
It's all expression of life.
Yeah.
Like no superior or inferior.
Yeah. That's And when there's no one, then there's no. In that sense, there's no difference. And it's not in the head saying to yourself, "Oh, there's no difference," because that's a concept. When you understand it, maybe people go like, "Oh, there's no difference and there's nothing happening," or that's just the concepts. You can't do something with it, or it is like that, or there's something happening with it. Yeah, then that's what's happening. That's life too, and that's the perfect lover. Life is just perfect. Like it's maybe a lot of thoughts. That's the energy. That's just energy. Like that. Nothing is wrong. No.
Yeah. Like it's like the blossoming. The flower can blossom or it can wither or die, but the flower doesn't have a story about, oh, I'm an unworthy flower because I decayed. It's just a movement of energy. It has no comment about.
And sometimes a lot of flowers are blossoming and one is not. And that is not. It's oh, everybody's blossoming and I'm not. And that's human. Like, no, it's not like that. But oh, it feels like, oh, when it's not going all right, whatever that is, then it feels like, oh, I'm punished, or that's because of unworthy, or maybe I've do my best more. It has nothing to do with that. But that's the freedom. That's the freedom, that it has nothing to do with anything. It's just that feeling without any meaning or whatsoever. And it's just like that. Not because of, no, just like that. Then that's free. Then there's no feeling that's awful. It's just feeling.
Mm.
Can be anything.
Yeah.
Here it happens. It is not. Some people say, yeah, when there's everything is perfect, that means there's only love. But I don't like that, because it's, you can say everything is unconditional love, but when there's anger, then that's the unconditional love too, of course. It's all a feeling like, then it can be there, like no energy, or can happen. It's just normal. Already, and it's not waiting for no me and then it will all be okay. No, it never will be okay.
Yeah.
Okay is, oh, there's no hope. There's no hope. Some people say it's awful. I think it's more like, hooray, there's no hope, because hope means it's not good yet, and there will be, maybe one day it will be better. That's awful. That's always some far in the future. No, it's already perfect.
Mm.
Not nice, but like it is.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
can be easily interpreted as that, but when you really see it, when you say there's no
Yeah.
hope for Harry Potter because Harry Potter is just imagination. It's not
Yeah,
abstract,
also,
you
also.
know. It's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, in that sense, it's even more, because nothing is real. So, what about hope? There's no time. So, what is hope? It's just an abstraction of something. It's a
mm,
story. Hope is a story. Me is the story. That's always me is, and the story is just the same. And it's by thoughts, it tries to make it better, or, but me is the misunderstanding. There's something wrong, and that's, most people, I think it's just, for most people, it's like that's normal. There's something wrong and we have to make it right. It's amazing how strong that is. It's just normal. All the news, everything is about, this is not right.
mm,
How can we say that? It's just what it is.
yeah.
Not wrong. It's not right or wrong. It's not also not right. That's something else.
Mm,
It's just what it is.
yeah. It's radical
Yeah.
inclusion. Everything included, even the excluding, even everything.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
unconditional. It's all encompassing, embracing
Yeah.
everything.
It's everything. Yeah, it's everything. Huh? Everything. So not only the nice feelings.
Mm, yeah.
No.
The most
Mm.
when I was in that phase where I was really seeking hard, I what I did in the past was I compiled all non-duality snippets, and I always listened to it
Mm.
for an hour,
Sure.
thinking that it will
Yeah.
sink in the unconscious and the me
Yeah.
will drop one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. But I think a lot of people, I did, of course. That's, how can we do differently?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the normal way we are used to. So we use that. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it can happen that there are things are, concepts are falling away, or not. Maybe they're getting stronger. I don't know. It's energetic. It's energetic. So it can happen by the bus stop. Somebody says something to you, and boom. It's yeah. Suddenly there's so many beliefs and concepts, and suddenly there's something seems to happen, and it's suddenly like, oh, how could I ever believe that? In some, maybe some subjects, and maybe that there's something like, oh, huh? it was so normal. And then suddenly, like, huh? How could I believe that? That can happen too. It's not always everything that drops away, but that can
Yeah.
be in some things. And some, that's the same thing, but maybe in one subject or something. That
Yeah.
can happen. Yeah.
Like in different character, in different people, there's no one size fits all. Like I was telling Ariana last the other time when we were talking, like I wish it was like, Eckhart Tolle, he was like in the beach and then suddenly he just felt one with the waves in the ocean. But to me, I went to the nitty gritty, seeking to all the suffering, and there are some, and but then I realized that was just another story. There's no
Mm,
comparison. There's really no better or worse. Or there, because there
yeah.
was never really a personal awakening in the first place. So it
Yeah.
everything is just happening as it
Yeah.
is. So there's really no better
Yeah.
or worse or easier or harder.
Yeah, that's so, and but that abstract thinking, we are so used to that. It's not even noticed that it's abstract thinking. It's not just, yeah, waving the hand. People say, yeah, like waving the hand. Yeah, because we are, what is that? What is that waving? Why do you do that? Why? It's always that abstraction of
Mm.
to comment, and yeah, that's the normal way. It seems to be the normal way. And then suddenly somebody, so this message is saying something else, like, oh, can be a shock. I was when the first time I met Tony, I was in shock. I didn't know why, but there was so much fear. Wow, I felt like, oh, he has to stop. He has to stop. Like that. And in the same time I was going. So it was very strange. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a feeling of the fear of there's this fear and there's also resonance because you're listening to it and then
Yeah.
you fear of
Yeah.
losing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. The fear of losing identity. You can't even name it, but there's something important and that's threatened. And then you can't even see what I didn't see what it was, but it felt so like, oh, I have to phone him. I did really, I did. I have to phone Tony because he has to stop. It's too dangerous. Oh, it felt so threatening. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I I don't know, I did even the it's like every like people say in research the top two fear people have is public speaking and death. But
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think it's the death of the
Yeah.
identity, so called. I don't know if do you
Yeah.
also like
Yeah.
receive questions about fear of death.
Yeah.
I
But
think
that's the fear of death, that you are someone. We are trying to be someone and trying to behave right, or that people see yourself like you're looking nice or behaving in a good way, or everybody has different things about that. And then suddenly the fear of when that all falls away, you can't do it anymore. Oh, that's, yeah, that seems all, it's just nothing. The strange thing is it's just nothing. Nothing changes. But it's the time before that. Always, everybody knows the fear of death is death is not that big thing, but the fear of that before, that's, whoa, you think like, oh, I'm losing everything. It's going wrong. Yeah, that can be very. I did a lot of time. I had that. Oh, that could be, but it was some periods that was there, and then so I had also some periods that there was, it was just falling away so many things, and there was no energy. It was no. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what not to do. I just was stuck for a long time. It was like in the desert, like, oh, what's going on? And I couldn't think about it. I couldn't process it in that what's the normal way. That didn't work anymore. So it was like, oh, and like, yeah. But it wasn't like, oh, it's everything fell away, but it was, yeah, like being in the desert. That was for a long time here.
hmm, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yes.
Not very nice. But yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really a lot of kind of pain, so called. And a friend like a friend like told me like last year, or I forgot when, like a remark like
Mm.
you're in that like person. She like told me directly like you're in that realm of non-duality because you're privileged, you question existential questions because you don't have to work hard and stuff like that. But I felt like that's also a story, because it's not about being rich
Yeah.
or being in the middle class or being poor, because
Mm.
I live
Yeah.
in a country where I see like people are happy with or without money, because it's not about that. It's not about
Yeah.
it's not really
Yeah.
like
Can be
one.
too. Yeah, it's so different. Yeah. Well, I was organizing the meetings of Tony Parsons, and then we were sitting in the kitchen with Tony and his wife, Claire. And then it felt, yeah, there were some people like jealous about that. But that was nothing. That was not, I was not a special person to Tony. No, not at all. But it seems like, oh, you're in the circle. I want to be in the circle. I know that myself too. But there was no circle. That was amazing. There wasn't. But you can't say that, because when people see that, you see it and then it seems real. So no discussion about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
the I think it's also like programming, like fanaticism.
Mm.
When people speak, like there's an interpretation that, oh, I wish I was there in the circle.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
because I'm a fan of
Yeah.
Tony or Jim Newman, I wish I'm in that circle, or
Yeah.
there's a feeling of
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
Yeah, yeah, and those people, oh, they are his friends, and they're, what do they have? What do they do? Or that's, but it's so normal thinking like that. When you see it, it's your experience. It's the same. So you can't discuss that, because you can say it's not like that, but yeah, there's no discussion about it's no, it's just nothing. It has nothing to do with anything. It's not a special. I'm not a special one, no, or Tony, but it feels like he has something or has lost something, but that's also something,
Hmm.
or Rose or somebody else.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
It is. It's like it's all it's all neutral in its
it's neutral.
raw form. Because
Yeah, it's just, yeah, and there's no Rose. There's just what you see is just a face and talking. That's everything. There's no more than that. And then the brain or the mind or the brain abstracting and thinking, oh, but she's there and she has, maybe there's a filling in of how her life will be, or questions about my life.
mm,
I don't have a life.
yeah.
There's no one.
Oh yes.
There's just life, and it's the same. It's everywhere the same. It's different, of course, but it's just different. Not better, or yeah.
In
People
comparison.
try to see the difference, and what is the difference then between you and me? There's not no difference. Huh? But I feel there's a lot of thinking and searching, but it's just what's happening, and that's, you can't it's not about understanding, because when there's understand, but it's about understanding, there it's, I can't explain it. I can't say how it is. You can't say that. That's strange. That was also when this happened in those years ago. I didn't know what to say about it. I was there and I was wanted to tell people. There were no words. I didn't know. And then after some years, then there was some people that we were talking to. There was like, hey, there's something different. And then we talked about that. And then it started. But before those things, there were little meetings then. But some years I didn't talk about it. I really didn't know what to say, and I was like, did something happen? I don't know. Yeah, maybe something like that. That's strange. There was something else, but in the same time, it was so normal. nothing special, nothing changed. I didn't have another house or some friends, maybe some less friends. Maybe that's happened in the years, but can happen also differently. You don't know. It's different for every person or
Yeah,
every
I
different.
remember your video saying that like you there were years like you didn't talk about it or you didn't you're really
Yeah,
like speechless in a way like you were just silent.
yeah,
You cannot talk because
yeah,
you don't know how.
yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
And in the beginning, there was something like a lot of hesitation, but that's just the character also. There was something like, oh, how can I say that? Something on with that still happened. That and then after a while, it became more easy. I don't know. Maybe things fell away. I don't know.
Hmm.
And it becomes the strange thing is somebody said that, and then that was suddenly like, oh yeah, that's true. That it's in the years, it's more straight, more like
Hmm.
maybe in the beginning it was not that like that because it was like searching for words or it was not, and now it was a bit like, and suddenly it's I don't know, maybe there's something also, it's just not there anymore and it's just more like that. It's so obvious and it's getting more obvious, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
And yeah, the label, because the label non-duality or nothing or whatever, or awakening or enlightenment, it creates a concept or a story, because
Yeah.
everything is life. Even because people think I'm demonizing religion, I still go to church, but it's
Mm.
like I still listen to, like I still do those things,
Mm.
but because everything is life, is expression. There's no like,
Yeah.
there's no like this or that or that, it's
No,
everything
it
is.
can happen anything. Yeah, you're going to church or meditate. Why not? Can happen. That's not your choice. It's
Yeah,
just what's happening. Can be meditating or going to church or yeah.
even the analysis
I
of
don't know.
trying to understand it, it's just happening. It's just what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, and it's also talking with friends, and they don't have anything to do. They don't know anything about non-dualism. They don't. They're just normal friends, and then they're talking about anything. It's my mother is like, hey, how is your mother now? Like, it's just talking normal. No, just why not? It's just that's what's happening, and asking questions about what's going on, and then it's forgotten, and something else happens, and it's not that you don't say anymore, oh, how is your mother? Because there is no mother. No, God. That's a concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's trying to do it in the right way. It's just what comes up. I don't know. Can be maybe they're saying that or not. I don't know. It's just what's coming.
It's
Yeah.
trying to be non-dual in the language.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's yeah, that can
It's
be
like the
there.
cartoons of
Yeah.
Jeff Foster in his channel. Like the girl was saying the tree is beautiful, and it's like
Yeah.
a teddy bear cartoon. He says, "There's no tree. There, beauty
Yeah,
is the
yeah, yeah.
concept." They're
Yeah,
trying.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything is
But in
natural.
the same time, you can say somebody say to tree, yeah, oh, what a beautiful tree. Can also happen. Why not?
Yeah.
Maybe in meetings it's more straight, like, oh, there's nothing going on. But in normal life, there's just something. It's just different. Maybe it's a different thing. When there's a meetings, then it's really straight because, yeah, I don't know. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
And in normal life, it's just what comes up. I don't know what is said. It's the same with you. That's coming some words. You don't know you don't think about, oh, I'm now going to say this, or it's just from nothing, just woo, and you woo. That's what we're doing.
That's
So
why,
it's
I
coming.
don't know. Yeah, that's true. That's why I don't really buy the idea
Yeah.
that, I don't know, but
No.
there's nothing wrong with it. There's just this concept. that people have created, that an enlightened being behaves this
Mm,
way. That, but
yeah,
it, and everything is a natural thing. Like if you create
yeah,
put a criteria about an enlightened being, then that's another dogma in
yeah,
a way.
yeah. There's so many things about that. And even if that's understood, it's not that perfection. It can be more subtle.
Yeah.
And it's like, ah, there's still some concepts. It's not even noticed, but it's so embodied, so normal to have some beliefs or concepts. And
Yeah. It's
yeah,
naturally
that's
there.
yeah, it's just normal. Yeah, it seems natural. Or saying it's natural, it's not natural. Everything is natural. So natural is it's a bit confusing, because then it seems like we have an image of that, but it's a natural. It's
Oh,
more neutral, more neutral. It's
yeah.
because then it's natural seems to be better than unnatural. That's why it's difficult to say what it is, because it's always like an opposite. Whenever you say it's this, then there's an opposite.
Oh,
But
yes.
there's no opposite. But how can you say that? It's in the language. You can't. So it's talking around and talking about concepts and things. That's what we normally do in a conversation or
Yeah.
in a meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the moment I say black, I create the opposite.
Mm.
I created white. I created the
No,
moment I,
black. That doesn't mean no. Maybe black is just black. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe there can be an opposite, but like black. Yeah, there are a lot of shades of black. Oh, there's so many things about everything. Yeah.
Yes.
So you never can be accurate in saying how it is.
Mm,
It's impossible. And talking about this is also when there's saying something, there's immediately an image or an understanding, and it maybe there's something changing in what is said. So, but it's so quick done that it's not even noticed. So that
mm,
can happen too. It's just can be different. That what I say and what is understood or heard can be a lot of times is different. But yeah, then it's that.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't nothing matters. It's just when it's understood in a different way, then that's that. That's that's the perfection. That's what happens. So because it's going nowhere, life is not going anywhere. It just is. So when it's understanding in a different way, so what? Then
Mm,
that's what's happening. So everything is it, of course. So nothing in that sense, you could say nothing matters. It's not that you say to yourself all the time, "Oh, nothing matters," because that's an indifferent. It's a concept. But when there's just saying and it's heard in a different way, then it's heard in a different way. So what? Nothing goes anywhere.
mm.
It's just that. Yeah,
It's infinitely free. It can express in different
that's the
myriad of.
freedom. Yeah, it's already free. It can be everything, anything, and everything is it. So how can it be wrong then? Of course not. Of course, or right. It's the same. How can it be right or good? No, it's just what it is. That's the freedom. That's the joy. That's paradise. Like there's nothing wrong. That's huge, amazing. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is right either. It's just what it is. It's just everything. The way the words come, the way the hair is looking. It's just that. So what?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember Joan Tollefson's quote when she said, like, you may discover that when there is no resistance to totally being in hell, heaven opens up and samsara reveals its true nature as nirvana.
It's already like that. So that's the way it is seen, or the way it's felt, or the way it's looked or understood. That's it already. There's no something, this is it and this is not it.
Yeah.
That's how we heard sometimes this message.
Yeah.
No, it's everything. So it doesn't matter if it's understood or not. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
That's, God, that's, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's what we
don't know.
long for in a way. Yeah.
Yes. I don't
Mm.
know if I think I don't know. In my personal experience, when I was sitting in Zooms or satsangs, I
Yeah.
always either it's me, it's my question, or somebody else's.
Yeah.
The fighting for like what you said earlier about fighting for the good versus evil in the world, or the Holocaust, or the wars, COVID.
Mm. Mm.
Like
Mm.
people will really react to how can you say that's love, like
Mm.
abuse, or all those
Yeah.
horrible
Yeah.
happenings in the
Yeah,
world.
sure.
I don't know how you address it
Yeah.
when
Yeah. Yeah, because oh wait, it's falling out my ear. It's we thinking there's a real world. I don't see a world. Where's the world? That it's just imagining that there are people outside. It's not seen. It's not literally there, but it's seen on the television or read in the paper, or and then it's making it real, like it really is happening. And how do you deal with that? What do you think of that? It's just information, and there can be a lot of information, but and then it's gone. It's not there. And I don't know, but it doesn't mean that somebody is telling to me, oh, I'm raped and things like that. Then that's not, I can't, I don't know, but I was not seen, oh, but there's no rape. No, there's just a reaction like that in that circumstance. But in the world, there's no world. So that's just the information and the belief like there's something happening in America or where and we can be busy with that, but it's just information. It's nothing more than that. We're so busy, like, oh, this is awful and people shouldn't do that. Like, yeah, it's a dream. But what is happening, it's just straight. It's just literally. And then there's going something, or then there's maybe a reaction. There can be, but that's something else. This is not a concept or information like about how life is or how we need to deal with things. There's no one. That's already very difficult to hear already. And there's nothing wrong. That seems like, oh, but rape or war is wrong. And then, but when there's always that feeling there's something missing, there's something not right. So the experience and the hearing of everything is about, it's how do you say, confirm it. So if you see it like that and there's that belief, there's no discussion. There can't be a discussion. When somebody believes that and really is convinced that, then that's it. There will be no discussion, and then it's okay. Then you think that. But I see it differently. But that's it. It's not. It's just different. It's not that I have the truth or something. No.
yeah, it's
So, and it's difficult to say because then you can only say it when somebody's straight asking it to, and then there's coming a reaction to that person. It can be different than reacting to you because there's some different energy. So there will be maybe a different response. With the same question, it can be completely different. I don't know.
yeah,
It's energetic.
it's
It's everybody knows, in a way, everybody knows, of course, that it's energetic. That when one person it's different than with another. You don't know why, but it's energetic. That's always like that. And it's not about from your mind, it's just how it goes.
yes. Even
Yeah.
from even when I like if I tell my story of how it happened, when I listen in
Yeah.
the past, like maybe like let's say 3 years ago, if I listen
Yeah.
to you and you're say and or anybody talking about this, my
Yeah.
reaction would be so resistant. I would have done another video oh, these people are attacked by the evil
Mm.
spirits. I would say that. I would literally
Ah,
believe
yeah,
that because I've
yeah,
seen a lot of that. But and then
yeah.
later on, there's a softening. So and quote unquote,
Ah,
there's a like feeling like, ah, this is not. This doesn't
ah,
mean that way. It's my projection. It's my, there's a,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
different.
yeah. Yeah, that can be like that. Yeah, and then but he was so convinced, and then suddenly it's like, oh, that's strange. How that happens. Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, that's falling off some concepts or softens, and then suddenly it's like, oh, how could I see it like that? That's the same with know me also. It's like, oh, how could I see? It's not even something special. It's just, how could I not see that? In the beginning, it was also a little bit like a bit sad. I was so convinced and so much energy putting into being a better person or more relaxed or things like that. And it was like, oh God, what a oh so so much energy, and it's so clear, it's so normal. How could I not see it? But it's so convincing, and it's so normal to those beliefs and can be so strong. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
it's yeah, it's like when you look at it, even how it changes, you cannot answer. It changes on its own. Like
yeah,
I cannot
yeah,
have the answer of how did I
yeah.
shifted from believing that I'm gonna go to hell when I die to this. I
Mm.
cannot really know
Mm.
how. It just happened.
No, no. Yeah, that's it. That's the same thing. Yeah, sure. That's falling away. It's not even noticed, and suddenly it's like, oh, it's different. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange how it works. Yeah.
Oh, I don't. The last
Yeah.
question I have in mind is this is the I don't know if this was asked to you already, like because the word God is interpreted differently by different people,
Mm.
and it's triggering to some, like if, especially if you're holding on to a belief. But the question that was asked was, and this is also my question, like in the past, like if God created everything, then who created God? I don't know if that was
Mm.
asked to you
Mm.
already.
Yeah.
like, like how did this all start? I don't know how you
Mm.
answer it.
Yeah, God is a concept of people think so. So there's no God, or it's just life, energy, and there's no begin. When there seems to be someone, there's always talking about a past and a beginning and an end. There's no beginning, so there's also no end. That's also strange because that's the normal way of thinking. No beginning and no end. It's like, oh, how can that? No, so there's nothing doing it. It's not some creature creating everything. That's the story of Adam and Eve or the paradise or things like that. Because that's trying to understand what's going on, and there's something gone wrong, and it's amazing. It's something like that in the story of Adam and Eve. There's something gone wrong, and then Eve eat the apple of knowledge, and that's in that sense that's separation, because that abstract mind is just if when there's a little child, then there's suddenly the brain is sophisticated enough then to abstract, and then suddenly it sees like, oh, there's something outside and something inside, not really in the mind, but it's different. There's separation, and then it's that's knowledge is important, because to know what to do is really important, to have free will and all that things, and uh, and then the whole story. But then you're out of the paradise. So that's amazing, but it's not really out of the paradise, because then when it's the story, it's like, oh, you're in the paradise and now we're out of the paradise. But it's only a misunderstanding. So it's in the dream you're out of the paradise, but not. But there's only paradise. But it seems like it's not. So then there are a lot of stories about how to come back, or how to in heaven, or and then what you have to do to, because we are so convinced there's something gone wrong and we have to make it right or do the right thing. Nothing has gone wrong. That's that's the amazing part of this message. It's never been wrong or unfree or hell or things like that, and it has nothing to do with circumstances. It's when talking in the story, it's like, oh, there's a dream going on, like, oh, this is not right. That's the only word, and it seems like, yeah, the truth, or you understanding, or it's important because there's someone that's so normal. And hearing there's no one, even in that sense, I did hear that in the first time. I did hear that, like, there's no ego or something. I'm here, but when there's no ego anymore, then it will be good for me, of course, for me. But no me, it also, that can be understood. We have also an image of that. No me, you can't understand that. That's crazy, because we are so busy with how can I do something that my life will be better in some way. So no me seems to be a good option, because then it seems like there's a lot of freedom. So I want no me. So I did that. But it has nothing to do with that. And that's the freedom, that it's already what is happening, everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. That's the amazing part. It can't be wrong. It can't be you do something wrong. No, it can't. No, it's not only there's no you, but it's also, it's just life. It's just happening like that. That's paradise.
Yes.
That's love, unconditional love. That's, and the crazy thing is that when there's nothing trying to change it anymore, so it's like when that whole dream, it's just not coming. It's just not there. I don't know why or how, but it's just not coming. And then it's so, everything. This is paradise. This really is paradise. And paradise doesn't mean always feeling good. It has nothing to do with that. It's everything. And when it can be a feeling of, you don't even know what the feeling is, but it's not even in the body. It's somewhere, and it can be there. And when it's not questioned, or there's nothing going on about it's wrong, or trying to check, it's just that feeling. And it's, ah, it's difficult to say. It's and at the same time, or there's pain. It's really, it's maybe more. It's more intense, because there's nothing going on about changing it or trying to heal or things like that. But it's just, and at the same time, it's not there. It's, and there's, it's,
Yes.
yeah, I can't say what it is, but it's just, that can move. It's just, wow, it's amazing that pain is also paradise. How can, and it's really pain, eh? It's it can be there, and still there's something else also. That's the crazy thing. That's getting more obvious. It's like, this is paradise already, and it's always been like that. It's already everything. So, also when there's feeling like, it's not, then that's it too, of course. But for me, it doesn't feel like that, because me wants something nice. That's, that can be so strong. Yeah, sure. But that's how it is.
Yes. It's that's right. It's like that's why when people say it's bypassing, it's I would think it's the exact opposite, because you don't bypass it, you feel it more intensely, because you're not trying to
Yeah,
change it, you're not trying to manipulate
yeah,
it, it's just there and you embrace
yeah,
it and feel
yeah.
it.
Yeah, there's no escape. That sounds good in a way, but whoa, it's really no escape. There's nothing. I don't know what it is. It's not felt in the body, so you can't say, And sometimes you push on your leg and it feels like, I don't know, that's just how it goes. But there is nothing going on like it has to disappear. And in the same time, they can be going to the doctor and taking medicines. That's also strange because we think, oh, when there's pain, and just being with the pain. No, it's not being with the pain or something like that. There can be pain and there can be going eating medicine or aspirin or things like that. I don't know. So it's not a way of living, and that's strange because we are so used to what is the best way to deal with it, and that's not happening. There's nothing happening about dealing with pain or anything. It's just that, and then there's something else. I don't know.
Hmm.
You don't know. You really don't know, and the knowing is such. Uh, how do you say? It's very subtle. Can be very subtle and strong and intelligent. It's not like, oh, there's just pain. Yeah, there's nothing going on about. Oh, yeah, that's just pain, and then maybe and still there's some knowing in it. It can be so subtle, and well, yeah, then it's like that. It's not wrong, of course. It's just like that. Then why not?
Yes.
This is not better. No, how can it be better?
Yes.
Just Rosie. Just
Yeah. And we're also used to asking people how to deal with life, and then and the next teacher has another answer, and the next teacher has a
yeah,
different answer, and
yeah,
it entices you
yeah,
to, transfer, but
yeah,
it's also okay.
yeah. A lot of people see you as a person, so you have to maybe again you maybe you, I can do something to understand or to heal or to do something with it. Trying to make it clear to people is also a very subtle way to do the same thing as always, seeing somebody as somebody to make it clear to. That's a lot of times it's like that also.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's clear. It doesn't matter. It's when it's not clear, so what? This is not about being clear. I don't know. That's just coming, and people say it's clear. It's the strange thing is when I just talking and I think I don't know if it's clear or not, and then I see underneath the videos, I see, oh, it was a very clear, but I think, oh, okay, because I don't know if it's clear. I think there's a lot of words. I don't know if it will be clear or not. I don't know. So
Hmm.
I'm a bit like, oh, it's clear for them. Oh, yeah, that's strange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's another cat. It's part of life.
Mm.
It's part of everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. And it
Really?
doesn't matter if it's not clear, and maybe there's no people anymore watching what I'm doing. Yeah, so what? Yeah, maybe there's some moment like because I like it, I love to talk about, and it's just worry. It's a moment like, oh, oh, and then yeah, there's something else walking in the woods or so what? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Really it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? I really enjoyed this talk. I really
Hmm.
thank you so
That's
much for your
nice.
time. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we end, I want to ask like if people want to join you in your Zoom meetings, or or do you still do it, or like talk to you one on
Yeah.
one, or how can they connect with you?
Ah, yeah. It's on my website. So it's my name. Yeah, it's a difficult name. Normally, I'm called Rose, and maybe if you do Rose Roes, my back name is the same as my front name. It's Roes, Rose Roes. It's the same letters, but in a different way. Rose Roes. That's my website. And on the website are the Zoom meetings. It's every 2 weeks on the Sunday. I have two meetings in English. Once in a month, no, not only, but sometimes I'm doing French meeting because I lived in France, so I know some French, so I can speak French and understand most. So every 2 weeks on the Sunday, people can join. The link is on the website. So it would be
Oh,
nice to see people there.
oh
Yeah.
yes. I'll put it in the
Yeah.
links below, and so they can just
Ah,
click it
yeah.
easily. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that you can do that. Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's really a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Yeah, thanks.